Welcome to Radio Mirchi, the Triangle region's largest South Asian radio station. You're with your host, Steve Rao. We are also aired in Philly and Baltimore. And today we are with NC RIoT. We're with Sarah Glover. And Sarah, welcome to the show. And just tell us a little bit about NC RIoT for those listening this morning. What is it? What is your purpose and mission in the region?
Sure. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. Really looking forward to being here and having this conversation. Yeah, let's start off with what is RIoT. So RIoT, first of all, is a nonprofit. So that's kind of interesting. Second, we're focused on economic development, but specifically through the Internet of Things. We're one of the only organizations of our kind. So we're focused on economic development, not in one specific small area, but in a full region. We have so many IoT assets in the Southeastern United States, and we want to help other organizations learn about and leverage those assets to drive IoT. So let's back up a little bit. So when we say IoT, we mean Internet of Things. So there's a term that we're hearing a lot more and more. Internet of Things is this idea that now all these devices can connect without human intervention. So a common example that we use are if you, say, have a smart fridge, it might be able to detect when you're out of milk and send you a text. That's powered by the Internet of Things. And that's a consumer example, but let's scale that up and think about smart cities. So if we're able to, for example, put better sensors in buildings and control whether we need air conditioning or not, think about the cost efficiency.
Yeah,
the number of
energy efficiency.
Exactly.
We could go on and on, but just solving problems by using sensors and data and
exactly.
And it's to make us able to make us better decisions.
That's right.
So Raleigh.
So then, right, why IoT in Raleigh? So RIoT is based in Raleigh, but we're focused on growing the Southeastern United States as a center of excellence for IoT. Why can we do that in the Southeastern United States? Well, because we have incredible wireless expertise and resources. We have organizations that have large presence in this area that focus on hardware, so that's unique. And we're starting to do a good job of building out the infrastructure that's needed for things like fiber and 5G. So trying to make sure that we grow IoT partnerships in this region, globally focused. I mean, we need to be talking to organizations all over the world, but then making sure that they know how to connect in this area.
Well, that's great. And so tell me a little bit about how do you see IoT innovation in the region? I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on in Raleigh, but one concern many of us have is we're not seeing this scale in different cities. There's 12 cities in Wake County. Mm-hmm. How do we have more regional cooperation so that cities can follow this body of work? Maybe looking at what Raleigh's doing, and Cary's doing, Charlotte is doing, and then they can say, okay, I'm going to go, I see a common problem. Mm-hmm. I mean, are there ways we can work together as cities rather than just going to each city going on their own?
Yes, wow, that is such a great question. I'm glad you asked, because what a perfect example. Morrisville and Cary are great neighbors, but if Cary's doing a smart city project and then Morrisville does a separate smart city project and there's no shared best practices, and think about all the efficiencies we're losing there. These projects should be collaborative. RIoT truly believes that. And so what RIoT is very focused on doing is helping smart cities connect with one another so they can share what kind of projects they're working on, what their lessons learned are, and even things that don't directly connect to the technology. Think about the complicated procurement process. When you have a new vendor, if there's some new startup that wants to do something with the town of Morrisville, what's that process like for them? And how can cities share best practices related to RFPs and procurement so that we can pilot smart city projects?
Regional collaboration. One issue that I've been talking about is working with Wake County to have some Ryan Combs from the Research Triangle Partnership to have they have a clean tech cluster, to have a tech innovation cluster where we can bring in best practice, IoT companies, entrepreneurs, and NC RIoT, and have a conversation of regionally how we grow this cluster. So I think if you're interested in this, please, this is something I'm going to be working on a lot. But there's opportunities for cities and towns, smart cities.
Definitely. And a couple ideas for you. One group that we work with is US Ignite, and of course there's an event coming up. We can talk about that. Okay, great. Yeah. So US Ignite is a federal organization, so they're all over the country, and they have a program that they call Smart Cities Connect, and they use that to host these forums where smart cities come and they talk about exactly what you're talking about here with these regional partnerships. What's really exciting is they're bringing that forum to Raleigh, North Carolina. I could not be more excited. They're going to be here June 18th. We already have great leaders like you, Steve, from different towns and cities from across the country who are going to come and share best practices and questions related to the smart city movement. And what's really neat, if you're someone who can't come to the June 18th event, but you're interested in these smart cities, check out the US Ignite website. You can find them online and look up, they have smart city playbooks. That is where after a forum, they get all the information that was shared and put it into a playbook. The event that we're having on June 18th that's here in Raleigh, North Carolina is going to be focused on data management and data practices. But they've had a lot of different forums on other topics, and you can find those playbooks online on the US Ignite website for free. It's just incredible.
That's fantastic. So US Ignite, we're going to spend an hour on smart cities. So this is the first thing. I'm going to be doing a series of interviews. So we're going to have Tom Snyder in another month, and we're going to be having Darnell Smith from the city of Raleigh, and we're going to have, I'm calling the program the Innovators. For every month on this radio show, we're going to be bringing in people that are talking about cutting-edge innovation and the kinds of things that we can do. Let me ask you, the final question I'll ask is, let's talk about new job creation for a minute. So, AI, cybersecurity, smart cities perspective, how are we going to provide the skills and training for these new jobs for our millennials and younger folks that want to go into kinds of careers?
Right, that's an excellent question. I mean, as I think back to my experience in high school and college, a lot of the jobs that are available now didn't exist when I was in high school and college. And so how do we train our young people for jobs that don't maybe exist yet? I think a lot of it is we have to make sure that even though these are really technical topics, that we're still teaching things like creative thinking, that we're still teaching students to take on challenges and be creative as they think through solutions. So a key part of this is just making sure that our students are lifelong learners, that they're comfortable tackling new things. So that's the first part. That's a little bit more abstract, though. So let's talk about a second part. You hit the nail on that. Cybersecurity. I think there's going to be a huge demand.
IoT comes
with IoT. Yeah, so let's put it this way. With IoT, we're putting sensors on almost everything. I mean, we talked to an ag tech company recently that was looking at putting a sensor with every single feed on a farm. That's how many sensors we're going to have. Every sensor that's connected in a network is technically an opportunity for a network breach. We're going to need really smart people on these challenges. So certainly having some kind of background in network analysis, network architecture, coding, any kind of computer science. And what's wonderful is these are areas where if you decide to go to a four-year college, you can study it there. If you decide to go to a community college, you can study it there. If you decide to go to the school of YouTube, you can study it there. So this is going to be a great opportunity for people who want to engage in this. Just start doing some research, find some courses online, or just find some YouTube videos. If you're interested in this at all, you can get started at home. And of course, if this is something that you want to talk more about, I encourage you, obviously reach out to the people within your city or town, find a great advocate like Steve within your area, or look for an organization that can help support you in these goals. Definitely, if you haven't yet, look at RIoT's website. You can find us at ncriot.org. Check out our events. As a nonprofit, they're free and open to the public. So get involved, get engaged in this conversation.
Well, this has been really exciting, and we'll do a next series talking about smart cities. We want to remember US Ignite event on June 18th. Mm-hmm. Great event. NC RIoT. What is your website?
ncriot.org. And I'll even share my email is just Sarah, SARAH, @ncriot.org. So if you have anything you want to connect with us, feel free to reach out to me.
That's wonderful. And we look forward to, remember, June 20th, we have a music series at Tristy Park. Lots of really good music from Billy Joel to Elton John. I can't remember the name of the band. We got the July 3rd fireworks, July 4th. Get ready. The tennis players get ready for Wimbledon, and exciting. So, thank you so much, Sarah. We'll be there on the 18th. And folks, you've been listening to Leaders and Legends with Steve Rao on Radio Mirchi, and we look forward to another great week of summer and next week's show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.